So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
The story of this great city is about the years before this night. We are free!
Hello, everybody. It's a new episode of Ho Hong Kong. I'm your host, Mohammed Magdi, sitting with my family member.
I like how you had to think about I'm your host, Mohammed Magdi. I'm like, and yeah, I'm your co-host. I guess I could maybe be Vivek Mahbubani.
You can be. I mean, people
be.
can tell that our voices are very similar to each other.
They are similar yet different, much like the Thai slogan of Sam Sam but different.
I was telling our guest earlier how terrified you are of the getting frisked.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because I'm I walk next to you and I just automatically
Safety.
have white privilege.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, man.
And you are the citizen, which is just messed up.
However, the problem is I still can't get away by telling me, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late because I got frisked. They're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, God damn it.
Well,
they don't believe it
how
anymore.
often would the cops recognize you now?
I think now because I've learned the technique is that you walk really fast and just look grumpy.
Yeah.
And they're like, this guy can't sell drugs.
Right.
He's really focused. He should be all over the place, giving me the evil eye, but this guy's got on a mission. Leave him.
Yeah.
This guy, that helps. So yeah, so far so good. Of course, I'm going to jinx this and watch me tomorrow get stopped on Hong Kong Island.
I just want to be there one time when you get frisked at the same time you're actually on your faces on the back of the bus.
Oh.
Because that would be amazing.
And then those two guys.
Because they would probably start thinking, oh, he can't be the same guy, otherwise I'll be racist.
But yeah, exactly.
You know?
And then when I say I am the same guy, they're like, no, you're not.
Exactly, because you think you're getting away with it.
Exactly, yeah. That'd be bizarre. Or the best part would be halfway through frisking me, they're checking my ID and they're like, oh shit, it's that guy. They're like, okay, let's just follow him on Instagram immediately to apologize. Something like that. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, hopefully, maybe if you're a listener and you work in the police force, this is your chance.
If you're a listener and you work in the police force, we are screwed.
That as well.
I don't think we'd have got to 100 whatever episode
exactly.
we have
Frisking
now.
wouldn't be our biggest problem at the moment.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but speaking of frisking.
We had someone who came through without being frisked. Did you get frisked at the airport?
Not
Did they
at
ask
all.
you immigration?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I just say I'm Vivek Mahbubani.
Yeah, that's right. They walk in I think I've definitely upped the quality and respect the brown people have in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
By 0.01%.
Yeah, I mean, there is no if of your generation, there is no other brown famous person.
There is that guy Kibobo. He's much
he's
older. He's
that's
much
why.
older.
That's why I said
I haven't heard of that guy though.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
you should come and fucking compete with this guy because no one is able to compete with him.
That's easy. Give me six months. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He can. Now the thing is, Daniel, you bilingual, so also clearly you have that market share that can play in Hong Kong. See, I can't do the trilingual thing of the Indian, the Hindi, Cantonese, and English. I can do the English and Cantonese. And usually, what I find though, Indian people who see me on stage and I do the little crappy Hindi that I can do, they lose all respect.
Oh, really?
Do you speak Hindi at all?
Barely.
Oh, barely. Then it would be difficult for you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then the moment they're like, oh, he's one of those. Ugh. You know, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but I do speak the local language where I live in.
Yeah.
And you
so
don't.
they don't respect you because you don't speak Hindi.
It's the same as a Chinese person that sees a Chinese guy doesn't speak Cantonese.
Okay.
But back home in India, all comedians are bilingual through their performance. Almost all of them are bilingual.
Yeah.
Which means everybody's a Vivek Mahbubani over there.
Right.
But for me, I found that to be a bit of a crutch when I started doing shows internationally, because when you're a bilingual comedian in India, I don't know if the same with you, with your writing process, is that our setups will be in English and then the punchlines in Hindi.
Dude, that pisses me off so much about your videos because I want to hear the rest of the bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I don't understand the punchline. And then everyone's laughing.
That happened to me when I went to India. Same deal. I'll be like, ha ha ha, what?
The reason for that is Hindi as a language is emotionally more effective. With the kind of words that we have way more words to describe a single emotion than you do in the English language.
Are you sure, or do you just have really bad vocabulary?
No, we have really good vocabulary, and this is a certain sense of shock that comes from the crudeness of some of the Hindi words for a punchline.
Yeah.
And that just hits so much harder, and the audience just pops much louder. But then I also agree that it's unfair to a person who doesn't speak
Yeah.
Hindi because I'm invested in your bit right up until the payoff, and then suddenly boom, it's so.
And now I got to read the subtitle. Damn you, man.
So I've consciously made an effort over the last few years to stop doing that and just do it in one language, so that when I write a joke now, I have to think about making it funny in English. It has to be the best possible punchline in English, because I want to be able to do the joke in India and then anywhere else in the world. Everybody in the audience needs to feel equal.
Yeah.
So whereas for you, I think what really works well for you bifurcate the market in a very even manner. This is like English, and then if you want Cantonese, it's a very it's very hard to. I don't imagine too many people suddenly just having a normal conversation where you switch from English to Cantonese back and forth. Is that the thing?
Okay, so very rarely you'll throw in a few English words when you speak in Cantonese. Just like in Hindi, you'll be like, what is this? Idiot hai, something like that, right?
Right.
So you'll have that. In Cantonese, you have that as well. Certain words you would say, for example, you would use the word notebook in English to say blah, 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 notebook, and they're like, that's what we normally say it. However, what I do find is a lot of time when I MC events, and it might be a bilingual event.
Yeah.
Now, usually the traditional way is always a really boring, good evening, everybody, welcome to tonight's event. Blah, 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 and then back to English, back to Chinese, and that's super boring. Because what's happening is, imagine you're an English speaker, and Daniel, you're the Cantonese speaker. I use English, Mohammed switched on. I do Cantonese, he switches it off.
Yes.
And then now it's Daniel's time, and you're like, on, off, on, I don't care anymore. Right? And I think that's the hardest part. What I've I wouldn't say mastered, but I've kind of learned the rhythm of you choose one language as your primary language, and you have the secondary. So I think similar to what you say, like you do you set up everything in English, and the punchline in Hindi, and it's like, I see that's the supplementary language. However, the problem is, like you said, the payoff is the ultimate dessert. That's what we want. So that's a challenge. But I think that, of course, Mohammed, do you do other have you done like shows?
No, I talked about this before. Like I did a show in Egypt where it was an Arabic show, and they knew I perform in English.
Yeah.
And they told the audience, and the audience like, whatever, except that the audience wildly overestimated their
English
their
ability?
understanding. So I went up, I go, whatever with my act, and they're like, huh? And this is not like they just don't understand.
Yeah.
And I speak fast anyway, which is worse. But then which means I had to switch on the spot.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, by the way,
Right.
telling jokes in Arabic ever in
Right.
front of a live audience, and
Right.
that went terribly.
That was
because it was
crazy.
like, I'm
So you were
switching.
transposing real time then,
Of
basically.
course, and of course, as you know, like performing
doesn't
in two
work,
languages, it doesn't work like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You need to actually write it properly.
Yeah.
And so it was like a half-ass mix of both, and then after some point, I'm like, I give up. I just left.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I really
finished my set.
I really like how the art form of stand-up is permeating through different cultures now, through its languages, through events like this. It's
Because we are finally included.
we are finally included.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that right now, literally anybody around the world can be a comedian if you find an audience who speaks their language, and boom, you can make this happen. It's a great time to be alive, basically.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. But the one thing I find, though, is that you always have the same transition. For example, every language, when they first start comedy, you've always got, much like the new comedian, they've always got that gimmicky kind of story thing, right? And every language does that. Oh, what's the deal with this language? Why did they say this word for that word? I'm like, we get it. Everyone goes through that same cycle. Then, of course, you get to the point where it's the storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think, would you say yourself, Daniel, like you've gone past the whole, I'm a funny guy, this is the funny things I do, but now you're going into, I'm bringing you into my world.
Yeah.
This is what I'm
Yes.
I
thinking.
mean, you're also like, your delivery is very slow in comparison to a lot of like
You mean the pacing?
the pacing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been an active focus in terms of the performance aspect of it, because I like to take my time with the audience, because then if I slow down my pacing, it means I can say more horrible shit and give them some time to digest.
Yeah,
So because
because
I did say some stuff that kind of had the audience,
Yeah.
the audience didn't see coming, because suddenly one moment I'm talking about, where I'm from, and then boom, I'm taking them to Gaza, and then coming back, and so I could see the shift in expression. So I like giving them some time to think about it, and also it gives me time to think about what my next joke is.
Sure.
So I kind of like, okay, so kind of now I'm setting it up. So while I'm walking around and I'm smiling and all of that in my head, I'm like, okay, what's the next one?
What is the
Okay,
next bit? Yeah.
Let's bring it started from here. So it kind of like makes me feel like a joke DJ in a way.
Yeah,
Like, you like that
yeah,
one?
yeah.
All right,
Let me
hang
give you-
on.
yeah,
Let me
exactly.
Get another one. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're also
Earlier-
talking to two guys who speak very fast on and off stage, so you're like quite different from
It
us,
is,
I
yeah,
think.
it is a contrast.
Yeah.
Because when I just started doing it, and I'm sure this happens to a lot of comics, is that we're in such a rush to get to the punchline that we automatically just keep delivering our bits so quickly, because I just want to hear the laugh.
Yeah.
And then a very senior comic, he told me, Dan, just learn to be comfortable with silence.
Yeah.
If you can master that and just be feel confident even when no one's laughing.
Yeah.
Is when you can get better at this, because if you're always going to be in a rush, it feels like you're not believing in your bit.
Yeah.
You need to be able to believe in the bit and then tell the joke. And I'm
So
like, okay,
that's a really good point, because like when I saw you in Melbourne and I saw
Yeah.
your whole show, and I was like, man, this guy is taking his time. It's slow, and I was like, wow, I've never seen it in person. I've seen it on videos and stuff, but I've never
Yeah.
seen it in person. I'm like, oh, so this is what it feels like to have the room.
The videos, you're not really
not the same.
seeing the dead moments,
Yeah,
right?
'cause you're
Of
not-
like you pacing around or whatever. You
Yeah.
don't put that on the
Basically,
video.
put it this way: if I watched your same special on video, I'm in my own room.
Yeah.
Now my room has a lot of things happening. So when you're pacing around and the change of editing angles and stuff, it's still a change. Whereas here, I'm in this room. There's nothing else going on. You're
Yeah.
on the stage, and I'm like, okay, so I guess we're waiting. You know?
dude,
Right?
I didn't even know this was a thing. This
Yeah.
until I started doing shows internationally, because back home, if you see the Indian comedians, everyone there's a range of pace.
Right.
Yeah.
There are some comics who will come up, they're like a machine gun, and they're just hitting you with punchline.
Sure.
You can't catch your breath.
Yeah.
Then some guys are storytellers, and they set it up very well emotionally, and they'll bring you into a different place, and they take their time. Somebody will start a setup start setting the bit up,
Yeah.
then he'll just sing a song.
wow, okay.
So it's
I imagine just with
Yeah,
the sheer
it's a
number
range.
of people,
Yeah, the
there's
variety
like
must
a
be huge, yeah.
representative of pretty much every possible
Yes.
style.
Every combination, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can literally have a bold mixture of like,
Yeah.
all right, we need someone who has plays at this pace, this
Yeah.
voice, and this
Yeah.
personality. Get that
Exactly.
guy. Wow.
And the good thing about Indians as a culture is because we tend to naturally speak really fast in
Yeah.
everyday conversation. So if somebody slows down, it isn't the worst thing in the world for us. We can hear you, we can process you better.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
So it's because. So then it gives us also room to kind of be a little, I can try it at this pace.
Yeah.
But was it a conscious decision to slow down? Or was it because of the advice you got?
I think it primarily because of the advice, and I really started enjoying silence in the way that, okay, it gives me room to now set it up better, or just say something that I want to say and then have a nice punchline.
As opposed
come
to
in.
just trying
As
to
opposed
plow
to-
through that.
Yeah, okay, here's a setup, here's a punchline.
Yeah.
So here I'm thinking, okay, here's a setup. Now here's what I think about this setup. Here's how I maybe hope you will think about this setup.
Yeah.
And then boom.
But what do you say? Okay, because I've always been curious about this, because I myself I'll put it this way. I'm not really investigating this thing, but I'm very curious about the mindset you're going through to believe that is your style. Now, the reason I say that is because I've done things where I might advance and I'm like, okay, I'll slow it down and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I notice myself is that maybe my energy on stage requires me like, all right, everyone, this is the show, let's rock and roll. If I
Yeah.
go, all right, everyone,
Yeah.
this is the show,
Yeah.
it kind of makes them go like, this guy doesn't want to say what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's
Right,
just
yeah.
pulling through.
I think it's like
Yeah.
the tone of your voice
Yeah,
too.
so like
actual.
Daniel
But the
had-
context also would matter. So if I'm hosting an event, you'll see that version of me.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
what's up, guys?
Hey.
This is your boy, and we're out here. This is what's going to happen tonight, etc. You need that kind of energy
Yeah.
if you're hosting something where
Yeah.
you want that energy to be up. So I think maybe, I feel like your performance style for a particular event should
Yeah.
reflect the energy that you want, that is needed.
So you would say your slower pace style would be unique to when you know that people are here to see you.
yes.
Then you're like, all right, okay,
Yes.
now I can show you the real
Yeah.
version.
Whereas,
Ah.
So like for example, when I told you about Comics Lounge in
Yes.
Melbourne, when I did that room, so you've seen that room. It's
Yeah,
massive,
it's
500
huge.
people.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
So I need to get you quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I opened with the bit where the punchline's in about 7 seconds of me getting on stage.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I take it up. So in terms of I get to the punchlines
Just you need
faster.
to get to get to
Yeah.
because
the
you want
trust
them
very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah,
So these
for
guys
sure.
are like, oh damn, it's another one, it's another one.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
that. So that is it.
Ah.
But if it's my show, they've paid to see me, and I know I have an hour.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, all right, let's sit down.
Yeah.
And be like, yo.
Okay. Because I think the one thing I'm still discovering, because for me, the psychology is weird, because I keep thinking that if I'm the audience, would I prefer the guy taking his time or being quick? And I keep thinking, I'd like him to be quick.
Yeah.
Because I want to laugh more.
Yeah.
But
Right?
this is such a Hong Kong mentality.
I
of
think that's the- see,
squeezing
that's the thing. It
every,
Right?
yeah, like the most
Yeah.
value out of your dollar,
Yeah.
basically.
And I realized
is how you're thinking
that
about
is
it.
my default mentality.
Yeah,
How do I
it's a-
maximize this moment?
Yeah. So how I quantify the stand-up experience that I want to give an audience in for a show of mine is this: I want to make you laugh, but I also want to say something. I want you to kind of I want to tickle your thought process
Yeah.
a little bit and leave. I want you to go home and think about something I may have said.
Which is funny
So,
because I get in, like, I see your comments sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
mostly people telling you not to do that, which is
Yeah.
quite funny.
Yeah.
Everyone's
But
like,
those are the-
you're a comic, bro. Just take the lane.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you get in fights, which is hilarious to me,
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
And you're like,
So-
leave the comments.
Right, exactly, and that's the other thing I want to know. Okay, so as a comedian, we're always expecting. I'm sure we all get this way. People have their own say. Oh, you should do it this way. I'm like, buddy,
Right.
if you
Yeah.
knew better, you'd be doing it. But you're
Yeah.
not. So we're
Yeah.
done with this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you enjoy having those heated discussions in general? Like, I'll say this.
On social media?
But people in general, like, okay, I'll put it this way. I very much enjoy having intellectual debates to the level where I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about, and I want to see how good I know this stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Reverse it. If somebody says you should do it this way, I'm like, I don't need your advice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the two things. One is it should be a discussion between equals.
Yes.
So obviously
Yes.
we've all been in the game for a while. So if when we are shooting the shit about comedy,
Yeah.
I want to listen to what you have to say because
Yeah.
you tell me something that I've never thought about. before
Exactly.
my craft.
Yeah.
And maybe vice versa. So, but some rando off the street, so just going like, yo, I like your stuff. May I make a suggestion? Or here's your. Actually, I'm gonna tell you a joke. Why don't you try this on stage? I'm
Yeah.
like, yo,
exactly.
I don't go to a UFC fight and
Yeah,
be like,
and tell
yo,
you-
let me
yeah.
show you some moves. now.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Left
you know,
jab instead, buddy.
yeah.
And then the worst, like in
Yeah.
hindsight, after they get knocked
Yeah.
down, you're like, see, I told you, should have. You're
Yeah,
like, fuck you,
yeah.
man.
But
Yeah.
one thing I would say also, just to sum up the pacing bit, I still have a focus on the last per minute.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is my pacing is different, but I'm still making sure I hit a certain number of last per minute. So I'm looking
Right.
for a punchline every 10 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
which means if I can give you a punchline within 10 and 20 seconds, every 10 and 20 seconds, and I can still keep you engaged between that time, I'm doing with a certain
Yeah.
kind of pace,
Yeah.
which then means my writing has to be in such a way that I can say more at a slower pace within the same time frame though.
Right. Did you
Of the
actually
punchline.
do that exercise, like timing
So
the
here's
bits?
how I did it with my last special, the one before Live and Vaccinated with Shadows. I wrote the entire special down and I
Wait,
you wrote it word
transcribed
for word.
yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
wow. Okay,
Wrote it
that's,
down.
Whoa, that's
psycho
another
level.
level, yeah.
And then I highlighted all the punchlines in bold. So now I'm looking at a sheet of paper and I can see the rhythm. I can see if there's too much of a gap between two punchlines, and
You have
okay,
to have
then
more bold here.
I need to trim this a bit. So that
Yeah.
then, because I have an obsession with symmetry, as long as the punchlines are symmetrical in the way
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
flowing when I'm looking at the sheet,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, the rhythm of the show is good.
Doesn't that make you like autistic or something?
Yeah.
Maybe in a way, but
Yeah.
it can.
But people in India don't get checked.
Nah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
yeah.
all have. I think we all have a little something somewhere. So-
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But I also
probably.
think you guys have real problems as opposed to
Yeah, as
like, you
opposed
know,
to, hey, why is he highlighting his punchlines?
Exactly.
in bold?
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. We have bigger problems to deal with.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
Whether or not
Because
they're
people in
highlighting.
other countries, they're like,
Yeah.
my life is perfect. Let me ask a doctor in a lab if I am maybe a little autistic. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
why?
I need flaws.
Exactly.
Give me something.
Yeah.
Make something up. What do I have? What
Too vanilla.
There's
Yeah.
exactly. There's a spectrum. Show me how I'm not in the perfect spot. There's no perfect spot. Even better.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, we talked about this before. It is like people want to stand out in however way. And
Yeah.
it's the Oppression Olympics, right? It's
Yeah.
like, how do you be different?
Yeah.
And it's the different now.
Your
is-
trauma is
Exactly.
not as important as my trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also the different now is no longer a positive different. It's actually, it has to be negative.
Yeah.
Like you can't be different by being
Yeah.
the top of your class. No one cares about that. But
Yeah.
if you have like your parents got killed, fucking
Yeah.
right.
That's right.
You're
Yeah.
jumping
Yeah.
on the top of the list
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, dude.
As
So-
opposed to,
Yeah.
a grandma who had cancer. Now, which one is more horrible?
Exactly. Like, I want to be that guy on the scene who's been like, guys, we're all fucked. And then just leave.
Yes.
Run away,
Yeah.
I want that.
So you want people to so let me because I'm really trying to get into the psyche of I appreciate that you want the people to leave with a thought in their mind, go like,
Yeah.
like they don't leave with like, oh, it was a good show, let's go home and sleep.
Yeah.
They're like that. I had a good time, but wait a second, there's a seed been planted in my
Yeah.
brain. I mean, specifically, and then so is it ultimately you're trying to get someone to? Okay, I'll put it this way: is it because you're unclear on a lot of things? And you kind of want people who come to your show to also be on the same wavelength as you. Go like, you're right. You know what? Shit. Oh my god. Like, do you want that? Because I find for me,
Yeah.
real simple is that I enjoy what I do, right?
Yeah.
And my thing is that, buddy, no matter how good my life gets, I can always find a problem that I need to deal with.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to enjoy this moment now because I have a bigger problem to worry
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
right? So that's my thing. And
So
who
you
knows?
just more like in a way like you're tuning out and just having a good time.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm saying for this 1 hour, and my thing has always been, I guess maybe influenced by Jerry Seinfeld, like the show about nothing. I was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna come here, learn nothing,
Yeah.
not improve at all.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time though. You're
Yeah.
gonna leave, go back to your shitty life, but at least for
Yeah.
1 hour, you're like, you know what? That was pretty worth it. I'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go home and deal with all this shit later.
And it's so important to have that as well, because I think every form or every genre of comedy has its space. And they're all complementing each other.
Yeah.
Because if all of us sound exactly the
Oh,
same,
yeah, it's
and,
boring.
and then everybody's like, the pool just
And
gets
ultimately,
so much
it's
narrow.
entertainment, right? You
Yeah.
still want the audience to be entertained,
Yes.
whether you are giving them a message or
Exactly.
Because otherwise, you're
Yeah.
veering into
that has to be the
TED Talk,
first
right?
thing. That has to be your top priority.
Exactly.
Your top
Entertainment.
priority has to be to entertain.
yes,
Yeah.
that's
If-
what I mean.
If you
Yeah.
start there, what you're saying is very right. You start there and then you walk down. Okay, how do I want to entertain?
Yeah. What's
Yes.
my method?
So one of my influences, just like Jerry's yours, one of my influences is Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah, you guys, this is exact. I can see it in both
Yeah.
of your styles.
So Patrice-
yeah, definitely
very
Patrice,
opinionated.
yeah.
Yeah, so
he
Patrice
doesn't give a shit. He's like, okay, yeah.
So Patrice said this in an interview. He said, when I do a joke, I want 50% of the audience to go, ha ha.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want the other 50% to go, did he just fucking say that?
Right.
I think that makes a lot of sense now.
So I like being a little provocative. I
Yeah.
like making you feel a little uncomfortable.
yeah.
Not just because I want you to think about something, but also because it gives me a tickle.
Yeah. Like,
That I made you think
Yeah.
about this.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
in a way.
But
do
then you also get into the territory of like when do you stop being provocative and you start becoming an edgelord? People
Yeah.
who just want to
Yeah.
just piss people off by
Yeah.
saying horrible things, right?
So the line there is funny.
Right.
So you can, if you're provocative in a funny manner, and even if somebody does not agree with you and be like, ha ha, I see what you did there, but okay. But when you are provocative without a punchline, then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well,
So
let me
still
throw you a
circle
curveball
back.
then.
Yeah.
Which
It's
is
like what, his whole show?
Well, no. where are you playing it? In a way, it's like who is the audience? So if I am being an edgelord and I'm going to the most racist audience I can find, and I go, black people are like this and Indian people are like this, they will laugh,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then
But he's not playing to Russell Peters'
no,
audience.
I know.
But that
Yeah.
is where your compass as a performer comes into play. As a writer, it comes into play.
Right.
Like, so even let's say if I'm in Texas
Yes.
and it's a room full of rednecks, possibly that
Sure.
I will still do the same thing that you saw last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that I admire. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
would
too.
not have that.
I will not change anything for
Right.
for them as well.
Wow.
So that's why I was so excited about yesterday's show,
Yeah.
because I think we had at least people from 3 different countries or 4 different countries.
Oh
in the
yeah,
audience.
yeah.
Easy.
At least easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, that has always been okay, can I conquer this milestone where I can step out of my country
Yeah.
and go to a club where most of the audience doesn't even know me, and can I kill and make them laugh? And last night's energy made me feel like I was performing in Bangalore.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a very hot show. It was just
Yeah.
right.
It was so.
But also
yeah.
from the beginning as well. We had
yeah.
Ryan Hynek hosting. We had Kari Gunnarsson, Hachu, and Mahesh opening.
Wow.
And it was just good. Like Mahesh was first, Hachu was second, Kari was
Yeah.
third. So just the energy kind of kept going
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and up.
And that's a very important aspect of a good comedy show. Also, is how you set it up for the audience. And I think Mo got that right spot on. The curation of that
Yeah,
first
the
half
lineup. Yeah.
is critical. If you get that wrong, and somebody has
you're pretty
Yeah.
much halfway through the show,
Yeah.
and you have lost faith in the
Yeah.
show.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I think all the guys on yesterday did a super performance. So yeah, props to them.
Yeah.
And then that makes you feel nice as a comic also, because you're like, all right, this the temperature is just right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need that
Like,
pressure as well. It's like you don't want to like.
Exactly. You don't want to be like, this looks like it's gonna
let me
be
show them how it's
easy.
done.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
No.
No, I think that's one thing I love. I love when you especially put me on last, and I want everyone to kill so hard in the beginning.
Yeah, you're like,
Should make you
shit.
nervous.
Yeah, it makes you nervous. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing, because I know that I'm okay. So that means it. I'll put it this way: do you appreciate being the smallest fish in the room when, like, in India? Because like there's such a big variety. Or do you kind of be like, I am my own fish in my own pond? We just
Yeah.
happen to be in a big ocean together, but I'm in my own area. Like, because I was talking to somebody, I said, okay, so put it this way. Like Kobe Bryant, he says, while they're playing checkers, I play chess. Where he's like, I'm playing my own game. I'm not even playing with you. We're playing board games, yes, but
Yeah.
it's a different game, people.
Yeah.
And I try to use that as my way of like, I'm not going to say, oh, I'm better than you, this, that. I'm playing my
Yeah.
own game, buddy. But I really love it when I'm playing chess and everyone else is playing chess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I play amateur chess.
Yeah.
And I want to be amongst
Yes.
these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
So here's how that works for me. Back home in India, I'm playing my own game.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because my understanding of stand-up is at the same level as most people in the scene.
Yeah.
Because we all started at the same time.
Yeah.
So you could say in a way that all of us from between 2009 and 2011, whoever started out then, we're
Yeah.
sort of like the founding fathers of
Correct,
Indian
yeah.
stand-up comedy in a
Yeah.
way. So, and over the last 13 years, I'd like to believe that I've gained enough of experience to kind of know how to navigate
scene.
and execute the plans that I want to do.
Yeah.
But once in a while, so I want to be a little fish in a bigger pond, which
Yeah.
is
Right.
why I like doing the
Traveling.
comedy festivals,
Yes.
which is why I like going to a club where nobody knows who I
Yeah,
am.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's where you get your reality checks.
Yes.
Do
Yeah,
you
and it's very
how
important.
often can you find that now in India where you can go to a club and people don't know? I mean, you're famous, but you're obviously not
Yeah.
like an A-lister.
Yeah.
But does the average comedy goer know who you are at any
So
given?
it all
spot?
depends on which city and
Yeah,
who you're talking
so there are
to.
more cities, like you're bigger in some cities than others in
so
India.
stand-up comedy in India has blown up in such a way that we could be three really successful comedians sitting in a room having a conversation, and your fans would have not heard of me.
Yeah.
My fans
Right.
wouldn't have heard of you.
Yeah.
And it's very possible. So
Huh.
it's that diverse now. The numbers are just unbelievably huge. That there are people who've just started watching stand-up and they like a particular comic. So like, I like this guy. Like they pick their top three. I'm going to run with these guys.
Yeah.
And these guys have no clue that there are 5 other guys that are. So we are all constantly being discovered in some way or form.
Sure.
So would you say that in many ways you can synergize then? Like, for example, your audience, or would you feel that people are so loyal that they're like, no, I like Daniel, that's it. I have no interest
So
in the
yeah, you do have that. You do have these hardcore fans who'll be like, I only watch your shows and I don't feel like watching anybody else because I like your vibe, my sense of
Yeah.
rhythm, vibes. You say exactly the things I'm thinking and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And
So
I guess
yes,
it's
you
a
have
numbers
that
game, right?
You have-
It's
and a
like
numbers
there is
game.
so many
Yeah.
people that you will find someone who
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
aligns with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the synergy happens once in a while when we do like a comedy festival where suddenly there's a bunch of comics and well, I've not seen this guy and I'm like, yo, and we all discover each other. Festivals
yeah.
are about discovering.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
It's like a
Talent.
network. It's like a comedy conference.
Yeah,
in a
Yeah,
way.
exactly. yeah.
And then a couple of weeks ago in Mumbai, we had a show, this comedy club called Habitat organized an auditorium show where they brought in 10 comics. So there's 10 of us and 10 different fan bases have come to the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was as crazy because everyone's playing to somebody else's audience
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
with theirs.
Yeah.
And
But that's what it should be about, right?
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
exposing your
Yeah,
audience
exactly.
to you. Like,
Exactly,
You don't want to
exactly.
just because also you will burn
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
pretty quickly.
Yep.
If you are yourself playing to your own audience,
Yeah.
and they're just not gonna.
And
come.
also, if it's a room full of people who like you, where everybody likes you, you're not becoming a better comic.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
need to be in a room full of people where you need to be in a room where there are people who don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, who are like, okay, impress me, buddy. Let me see what you got. And that for me, I find exciting as a performer because then I feel like, all right,
Let's does my stuff
and then
translate?
there's that duel that we have, and
Yeah,
then when I see that that transformation where I win you over by the end of the set, and if I do, I feel really happy, and I feel
Yeah.
like I've had a better day at work.
Yeah, but how about this though? Like a lot of audience being first-time comedy viewers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you find that your style would be a bit too hard for the beginner?
Yeah.
Right.
I like that.
Right. Because I always tell people like it's like music. You can't give a kid jazz and they're like, the hell is this shit?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But you gotta start
It has to evolve. You have to start them on something easy
Yeah.
to digest. And
Yeah.
I felt the same way. But like, you can't just introduce somebody to Bill Burr if
Oh,
you've
yeah,
never
it's like,
watched
oh, this guy's
stand-up.
hard. Yeah,
What?
exactly. This
You
guy's
got to
an
give him a
asshole.
little bit of
Yeah.
Russell, a little bit
Yeah,
of
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
some
Understand the basics.
Michael
basically.
McIntyre,
Yeah,
that kind of stuff, and then you go, okay. So that I actually enjoy in a way because those moments happen when I'm on these lineups.
Yeah.
Where somebody else will be like, I'm a fan of this guy.
They need the
and
mainstream and this guy
and
pops
it's
up with the fuck
certainly,
is it? Yeah.
But because it's like a 5 or 10 minute set, there's very little for either one of us to lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like no one's really going to be like, oh my God, this is traumatizing. I need to, get help. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh, and
Yeah.
what happens with a lot of first-time comedy audiences in India is they make it a family outing.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
very
yeah,
Indian
yeah,
thing.
very
Let's
Indian.
take
Yeah,
the
everybody.
mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Let's take the kids.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see these perceptions that society has about, we got to be a certain way.
Yeah.
When
The
your
grandmother's
parents are
here.
around,
Yeah,
grandmother's here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone forgets where they are for that brief, moment
Yeah.
to forget
it's kind
who
of like
they're
going to the
next
movies, right? Like
and you're
supposed
just
to shut off your-
releasing, and then you're
Yeah.
like, man, my grandmother's laughing at these blowjob jokes.
Yeah. How did she
Too
get
hard.
this? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And I think the good thing is that it doesn't matter if she's laughing because she gets the joke complete or the whole
Yeah.
atmosphere is getting her laughing. but
Exactly.
she's laughing.
Yeah.
We did something, and I think that's the one thing. Like psychologically speaking, having your whole group do that,
Yeah.
you come home, you're like, wow, we bonded in a different way.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing I like.
And I see this happening a lot at my shows in India. People bring their parents.
Yeah.
They come like
Knowing what your style.
they know
yeah.
they're fans. They're
Yeah.
fans. They're proper fans. You know exactly what I'm going to say.
But then that also
And
means
it's
you're
annoying.
getting a certain level of, I want to say, class.
Yeah.
It might be a harsh word, but that's the word I can think of. You're getting a certain.
you mean like
buddy,
a sophistication kind
do
of?
not-
Yeah.
use-
Well, or rich,
Yeah.
I think my point is that people who have more traditional or like less like exposed to stand up,
Yeah.
are less likely to bring their parents who are like
Yeah.
have-
So in India, stand up is an art form of the elite.
That's my point.
Yeah,
I think,
it's not of the masses. Whereas in
respected.
America,
Exactly, yeah.
it's of the masses.
Yes.
Here it's the opposite. In India, it's an art form of the elite.
So people look at it from a respect point. You're like, oh, you're a comedian? Whoa, like that?
It depends. Yes, more impressed.
just niche, I
More
would say.
impressed.
Yeah.
More impressed.
Yeah.
Than respect. A lot of disgust.
Yeah.
Depending on which, depending on which part of the country
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in and what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it is definitely an art form of the elite. Although comedy does exist in the other social structures as well, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Sure.
So not necessarily
Like
stand. It's more
slapsticky.
slapsticky.
Yeah, I figured as well, yeah.
It's more slapsticky. There is some beautiful satire in regional languages as
Yeah.
well that has been made over the years.
Yeah.
But however, right now, if you see all over the world, suddenly
Yeah.
the comedy scene in every country around
Yeah,
the
it's
world
exploded.
is popped.
Yeah.
I think few things. Number one, COVID helped a lot. With
Yeah,
everyone watching
yeah.
and stuff.
Thank you,
as we
China.
discussed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Yeah. Oh, you can. Yeah, you
it's
can.
okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Don't worry. Yeah. You're speaking in English, right?
Yeah. He's just mouthing. Can I even say that? yeah.
You can say that. We can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're already gone by the time this episode comes
yeah,
out.
yeah.
You're fine, buddy.
Actually, there is like 2 hours between.
But I want to
this
come
episode.
back. Yeah, but I want to
yeah,
come
good
back.
luck.
So, yeah.
Just say you're Vivek Mobani. You'll be all right. They'll be like,
Yeah.
I guess they are, right? Okay, so let's come back to this though. Your style, first of all, slow paced, everything. Obviously, an evolution over a period of
Yeah.
time. You didn't start off that way.
Yeah.
However, my thing I tell people, I always say the biggest challenge as a comedian for me is the constant evolution. It has to go with your personality or your
Yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
For example, I know like in the beginning I will do certain jokes about being Indian, this and that.
Yeah.
I've evolved way past that.
Yeah.
However, of course, you get those gigs here and there with like,
Yeah.
hey, there's an Indian theme event. You're like, oh
Yeah.
god, we're
Right,
doing this
yeah.
again. right? And I still like, for example, I'll give you an example. I was at the event today was a carnival event, outdoor carnival event. Just more about happiness, all that stuff. And every now and then they get me to perform. And I
Yeah.
know that audience, like clearly people who never get to go watch shows,
Yeah.
they can't afford watching shows, so I cannot blame them. Where
Yeah.
their comedy is like, I need the really easy, basic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go back to 2007.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
Brush
And I'll
up,
do
yeah.
exactly. And I only allow myself to do it for that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm like, if people say, "Are you gonna do jokes about India being Indian?" I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm done. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I've evolved past that.
Yeah.
Do you have a line where you draw where like, I do not go back to that? Like, even if it's something like I need to write a joke, you're like, I'm not going to that easy, gimmicky, crappy
Yeah.
punchline. Is there a line that you have?
I mean, it's kind of like you want to watch out for these writing pitfalls,
laziness
so
ones,
to
right?
say,
Yeah.
the laziness. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, this is too obvious.
Of
or
course.
Just like earlier when I started, for instance, when I started out 13 years ago in India, jokes about communities or the Gujaratis are.
Oh yeah, that was
Sure.
the typical, right?
Yeah, of
Punjabis
course.
Are you
are
from New
loud,
Delhi?
you know,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're from
And of
Delhi,
course,
you
like
don't know
the
who your father
Pakistanis
is
or
yeah.
whatever.
So you have all those stereotypes. So earlier, all of us were doing that because that was what was really killing,
Sure.
and also
Yeah.
we didn't know how to be
Exactly.
funny.
Yeah.
So the first few years is about you learning just how to write jokes. You can make whatever you can funny.
Yeah.
Don't worry if it's hack or not.
Yeah.
And then once you figure out how to write, then you can choose what you want to be funny about.
Yeah.
So for me now, it's like if I feel like I want to like if I have a dark thought or if I feel strongly about something that's happening, I just want to write something funny about it. I know how to do it now.
Yeah.
So then, which is why I straight away stopped doing all of the other stuff Like, this has nothing to do with the culture or the groups or whatever. It's just about the feeling, like what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So like, I'll talk about this.
Yeah.
Or this thing's been in the news. And
But the evolution, was it because you saw someone inspired by them, or you were just getting fed up of the whole typical, hey, where you from? Mumbai?
It was kind of just organic. Because after a point, also, if everyone's just doing the same thing, we all start sounding alike. The audience was like, okay,
Especially
how
if
many
you all
times am
have
I going to
Indian
hear
accents.
Yeah.
that because I'm Gujarati, I'm cheap? Yeah, okay, we get it. It's been done. So what I also like is the Indian audiences, they will keep you on your feet.
Yeah.
Sorry, on your toes. They keep you on your toes with their responses. So if you keep, especially a very tenured audience that's been watching comedy for a while.
If you
like,
keep meandering, do you know that you're
I'm
bullshitting?
just like, what the, I'm not going to watch this guy again.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
So in a way, the audience also so sharp that you have to bring your A game.
Here's a question
there.
that I don't like to be asked as a producer, but
Yeah.
I am now in a position that I can make
Yeah.
you uncomfortable instead of me being made uncomfortable. It seems like the gender balance in India in terms of stand-up is pretty whack.
Yeah.
I would say, like, because I consume a lot of stand-up, and to me, India is one of the markets. I'm like, that's a problem there.
So
because
you mean why there's so many men and so few women, right?
Which again, I am putting you on the spot. I hate getting that question as a producer,
that's
but
fine.
now I'm like, hey, you can answer it.
Yeah, but it has to do with the structures, right? That we all grew up in. India is obviously a very patriarchal society, so everything is structured in a certain way. And growing up, all of us have identified with certain gender roles. So when you think of a man, you think of him doing X number of things.
Sure.
You think of a woman, you think of her doing certain number of things. And there's a little bit of a contrast when, as an audience, I see a woman on stage.
Yeah.
But because the
brain
patriarchal
is like,
conditioning is like, no, this is
no.
not a gender role I am used to.
Yeah. You're
Why is this
programmed to
woman?
see.
Why is this woman confident? Why is she speaking so well? Why is she making eye contact? I mean, I'm exaggerating.
Of course.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is.
So it is taking. There is a shift happening where the audience will be like, hey, okay, women can also be funny.
Right.
And I've noticed this globally as well. There is this gender bias against women. If like female stand-ups get way more shit for saying something similar that a male comedian does. So it's just, I think overall all around the world, people hate women.
Yeah.
Like collectively as a group, they don't like to see.
Let's just say 3 men saying overall in the world people hate women. Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Let's just say
That's how it
This was
is.
the first draft for the title of this podcast. Was,
Everyone hates
women.
as agreed by 3 men.
But it's true. But I feel like because this is going out on the internet, and you have to make sure the communication is effective enough for the dumbest person to understand what I'm trying to say. Is that I am on the side of the women. I'm just stating my observation about why it's taking a little longer for women to come up the ranks. Now that being said, a lot of women are trying stand-up in India for the first time, and a lot of them are really, really good. But it's a journey. It takes a while to build an audience. But yes, I will say this: female comedians, not just in India, all over the world, still have to swim against a much stronger current than a male comedian
which
would
is like
have
the
to.
preconceived
people have
So
that
many.
idea.
They have to break down so many barriers.
The audience is still going like, no, I'm not. No, yeah.
So it is definitely way more challenging for a woman to be a comedian in India, and I reckon in a lot of places over the world. But at the same time, I do respect that a lot of them are trying, nevertheless, and a lot of them are doing really well. So the winner of the Best Newcomer Award at the Edinburgh Fringe this year was a female comic from India.
Oh, fun!
Yeah.
Do you remember her joke? Like, what was like the thing that?
Oh no,
because
the best special. So this is the whole special. She
it's not just like the one line or
she
whatever.
She won Best Newcomer Award, which is a big
what's her
fucking
name?
deal.
We can give her a shout out.
Yeah, Uruj Ashfaq.
Okay.
So
people just
it
look
was
up
so
Uruj
nice
Ashfaq.
to see it, like, because it wasn't some dude again. Dude won something.
Right,
This
yeah.
was an Indian
Like
comedian.
well-deserved.
She's a woman, and she put India on the map in a way that no other man has.
Fun.
There you go. I mean, clearly no other man could.
There you go. So even though we have maybe the ratio of men to women is a little disproportionate, but we still have female comics in India who are achieving some incredible
again, let me
milestones.
throw another curveball there, because people see these things and say, hey, that's overcompensation for like not giving them representation that they deserve
Basically,
all
what
these
Mohammed
years.
is saying
So you
is
mean
that
from the judging?
From the judging, and now they're like, they have to pick like it's going back to Oppression Olympics. It's like they have to find like the most minority. It's not even enough that it's a woman. It has to be an Indian woman, so we look good.
Basically, what Mohammed is saying is he's jealous.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's the. I can taste the saltiness. We just need some tequila and lime and make good.
Yeah, I had long hair. I could have been an Indian woman.
Yeah. But although what you're saying could be a reason, I think another way of looking at it is honestly, between you and me, if they hadn't given this award to an Indian comic, it wouldn't make a difference to the festival. Like, I don't see how the festival would gain in any way by saying, okay, let's bring an Indian comedian into
the limelight,
because the winner of the best show of the same Fringe is Ahir Shah, who's also a brown comic.
Yeah.
So if it was a quota thing, I'm like, hey, let's just make a certain group of people happy.
Yeah.
They already achieved that by giving Ahir the best. But I genuinely think that she has the chops. Because it wasn't like we were surprised she won, because at the start of the festival, Daniel Sloss caught her show.
Yeah.
And he was raving about it. So I saw it on social media, and so and you know that there are comics around the world who've kind of carved out a certain amount of reputation and equity for themselves. So and they're very particular about how they share that equity.
Obviously,
So if I say that a certain comedian is good, I want that word to have weight. So Sloss is somebody. Let's be honest, he has a little bit of weight. And he gave her a shout out, and then she had Phoebe Waller.
I don't know who that is.
Phoebe Waller?
Yeah.
No, who? Where?
The writer of that show that.
We'll check it out.
She's huge. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Just look her up.
Yeah.
She was Fleabag.
Oh yeah, okay.
Have you
So
heard of
she's
Fleabag? She was in her audience. She heard about her,
Okay.
so she went to watch her show.
Right.
She loved it. So she's having all these incredible moments around the way, validated by people from the industry, not the judges.
Yeah.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, yes.
Yeah.
And so not the judges, but actual artists like her were giving her
that would definitely give it a lot more credibility.
Well, so
and
that's
it
the
would answer
credibility.
my question, which is like, it's not a coda thing. It's not an overcompensation thing.
No.
But I think, that's the one thing I do appreciate with these awards. Like, even if it was a quota thing, let's be very straight. There are so many awards where, like, oh, this is the best comedian, this, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And audience will come saying, oh, you're the best, you better be okay.
Yeah.
And then when you fail to deliver, they will not only never come back.
Yeah.
They'll tell their friends, like, this guy's not the best.
Yeah.
Like, forget it, you know.
Yeah.
And you can see, look, let's be very straight, like, even in Hong Kong, you can see that, right?
Of course.
So many so-called winners. They're like, where are they now?
Yeah.
And I
Also,
think,
you ran a competition in your like mom's living room, and now you're
you're the winner, and that's
Like,
your CV.
Yeah, like personally, I'm not really somebody who's chasing awards either. Like, if I do a festival, I'm like, I just want to have fun with it. My main concern is I want to build an audience, come back, and be able to do a show as well, which is what I believe a lot of comics are hoping to do. You just want to be able to keep turning over your audiences and growing that base. But if I got a nod for my work, it wouldn't hurt. I'll be like, I'd take it.
Appreciate it,
Of course.
yeah.
I'd take it. You're giving me a nod. All right. A check for £10,000. Hey, why not?
Why would I complain?
I mean, who doesn't want to be recognized for their work anyway, right?
But at the same time, that does not guarantee any future success.
No, it doesn't.
You still have to do the work. You still have
We
to
were
grind
joking about it last
out.
night before your show, because the host asked you what credits, and we joked about how there are some headliners like, oh yeah, you have to say I was in this movie, I was in Netflix, and I was saying like, dude, they're already here. They're not. What are you trying to convince them? Like, you already are the headliner. They came to see you, even if they don't know who you are. They're taking a chance on you. You don't need to be like,
the money's in the account.
the money exactly
Doesn't matter.
I've seen hosts being very acts being very specific. No, you have to mention I was in this thing. I'm like, those are not the people you're trying to impress them with your act. No, with your credits.
And then Ryan was very surprised.
And it
like,
also sets the bar even higher. And then now they're like, he's on Netflix. What the fuck?
Because he asked me, do you have any credit? I said, how do you want me to bring you on? So I was like, man, just say all the way from India. Look, that's about it. Kind of sets it up nicely. I go over. And he's like, that's it? I mean, what do you mean? You have nothing else you want to say? I said, I'm pretty humble that way. I don't want to. Oh, he has these many views or whatever. No,
this has been definitely from the beginning of the podcast until now. I would say that this was the most comedy heavy episode I think we've ever done.
Really. Like I think anyone
just
who's
pure,
done this is all. If you've been to enough comedy shows, or you're a comedian yourself, or or those who did open mic and call themselves comedians,
right?
This is definitely clearly like, oh, this is the inside discussion. Obviously, everyone's going like, where are the jokes at the show? At the show that you pay for. You notice how this is a free episode.
So to switch gears before we finish the episode. You have been in Hong Kong for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And last night you went out on Lang Kwai Fong.
Yes.
So tell the people your experience on Lang Kwai Fong. The people in Hong Kong do not need they know what Lang Kwai Fong is. So you just go ahead.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch. Kind of, we were at this place called Corner Bar where you had a seat where you could just watch everyone, walking up and down. What I found really wild, what I've not experienced anywhere in the world, was how there was this woman who I noticed was filming me and my table and my friends and stuff, which I was like, okay, is she, I don't know.
Yeah, who's she? Yeah.
I have no idea who she is. And then she immediately turned around and started panning across the street and she was filming a bunch of people. I said, okay, maybe she's on a video call. Maybe
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. And then and after about an hour, she comes back and she's I can see her recording these two girls who are standing there on the street. And I'm like, man, what is she doing? So I took a closer look. I left my table, went closer to her. And she was live streaming these two girls standing there. And then she's just live streaming the whole street.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, this is very odd.
Yeah.
So I asked the waitress, I said, is this normal what she's doing? She's like, oh yeah, a lot of people do this. And I'm like, and she was shocked that I hadn't seen something like that in my life. She's like, does this not happen everywhere in the world? I'm like, no, this is the only place I've seen it. So she said that apparently she's live streaming that event to people who live in China.
Yeah.
So she's giving them a taste of what Hong Kong is. Like, hey, here's what the weekend scene in Hong Kong is. And then they have these raffles and people pay her money. And I'm like, that is bloody genius.
Yeah.
Because, Hong Kong is such an iconic city. Or people have heard about this place from all over the world. And maybe I don't have the means or the opportunity to get to that place, but I still want to know. And I'm like, I'm getting a bird's eye view of what it would be like to be in Hong Kong on a Friday night. Right now. This is what's happening right now in one of the most exciting cities in the world. And people are logging in the numbers. I'm like, that's genius. You're monetizing your tourism in a very unique way. So I think that was incredible to watch. Because I did the number game. You did the calculation.
Yeah, there's a billion people. Like, someone's gonna be watching.
Well, the downside of that is that as Hong Kong residents, these people, the bigger ones anyway, they go to a place. So there is, for example, a coffee shop chain here called Percentage or Percent or whatever. It literally, the logo is the percent logo.
Oh, it's very Arabica.
Arabica, 100%, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're all over the city. They're quite popular, but they're like fine. However, don't know the details very well, but basically one of these live streamers went to this particular branch in an area called Kennedy Town. Here. And they went there and they're like, oh, look, I got a coffee and the view is like the waterfront is right here. And that was more than a year ago, and that area has been slammed since then.
Oh,
because every day, that particular branch, and my friend lives in the building where that happens, and I've visited many times, and it's a nightmare because it's all these people blocking traffic.
So he drove up numbers at that place just by showing. The influencer basically.
Definitely influencers, but it's just like all these people. But then this is when it's negative because, sure, they're helping the coffie shop or whatever, but the residents are very annoyed.
I mean, but that's how I think just the universe is in a way, wherever you find beauty in somewhere, you'll find chaos. And it's always around the corner because, so the beauty here is that this coffee shop sales have gone through the roof. The chaos is that you've pissed everybody else off around you. So whenever something good happens in my life, I'm like, chaos is just around the corner. Hang on.
Let's enjoy the good stuff now.
Some shit's about to go down very quickly.
But to go back to Lang Kwai Fong, what was it like hanging out there? Like you stayed pretty late too, up late.
I was there till 4 a.m.
What was it like partying there versus partying in India or other parts of the world?
It's an energy that I quite like. So it was about the energy for me. There's the buzz and the crowd. So there's a certain kind of buzz that I enjoy once in a while. Most often than not, I prefer to hang back like this, just chill with friends at home. I don't want all that noise and stuff. We've passed the 20s. But once in a while, like especially given that we had a great show, I was upbeat. Hey, let's just go do something nice. So I connect.
You were definitely on a high. Like you were like the buzz from the show.
And so I connect with a certain kind of energy. So what we saw last night is one of those things. So it's an energy-seeking mission, so to say. So I want to be like, this is my jam. I want to be here. So that was nice.
I think that's the best part about Lang Kwai Fong is you see the evolution of the people drinking as well. Like the ladies walking up really confident, walking up the slope. And when they're walking down, they're like struggling.
I have a funny story with regards to that. Exactly. I saw the same thing. I saw the women being like, all right, we're going to have the best time of our lives. Look at my heels. Look at my ass. I'm about to kill it. And everyone's like all set. And then about like 4 hours later, I saw we were having a drink and these cops, a group of cops walked past us. And as they're walking past us, they're getting gloves on.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, is it going to have a cavity search? What the hell? Can I watch? Like, And I was like, but they looked like serious. And I'm like, what happened? And then I looked to my right. There's a girl passed out as if she's dead.
Yeah.
She's out cold. And I was like, damn. And then I went to go check it out. She was out. Okay. And her friends had covered her up. And the cops were asking questions. Okay, how did this happen? And stuff like that. They were trying to wake her up. So I'm like, all right, our girls had way too much fun tonight.
Well, it's funny because before I left quite early. And before I left, I was showing you and your friends LKF Meltdown.
Yes.
I'm like, this is a great account. This is what happens here. And then you just saw it in real life.
I saw it live in real time.
But I did tell you, this will happen if you stay here long enough. And it did.
It did. As the night progressed.
That spot, like, I feel like actually you pay premium at these bars because you have a great spot for people watching.
Yes.
Like, it's not just about sitting there. It's just like, if you sit on one of these like bars that you can see the whole street, sit there all night.
Yeah.
It's so entertaining.
Yeah.
And also the complete chaos, as you said.
Correct.
There is like the people selling flowers. There is a guy who's trying to paint you.
There's kebabs.
There's
a Spider-Man guy.
There's a Spider-Man guy. We had a guy unfortunately pass away who's an Elvis impersonator. He's just old. Like, he got sick and died.
Okay.
But he was
That's
also
okay,
like an icon.
Right,
So
right.
again, he was just in the mix for the longest time.
Yeah.
And we have this guy here who everyone in Hong Kong knows called Gollum. And he's actually also kind of a homeless person.
Right.
But he doesn't really speak. I think he speaks gibberish or whatever.
Right.
But he like parties with everyone, steals your cigarettes, and his
That's
whole thing is
funny.
that he just points at you.
Yeah.
So every like people from out of town would come and be like, "Oh, that's Gollum," and they just point at. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like back in India, it's a little different because most cities have a curfew which means bars shut by between 1 and 1:30 a.m.
We don't have that here. We have actually literally every business
except
it's just.
So except certain tourist destinations like Goa, then Goa is allowed to go on a little longer. But again, there are
Goa is
sound
allowed to go
restrictions.
on a little longer.
There are little sound restrictions and stuff. So yeah.
Go on.
So our idea of partying in India is a little different. So if I'm going out for the evening, I'm going to a bar with some friends, and if there's some music and we're having a good time, we'll have a good time. But we'll wrap up by 1:30, which honestly, if you ask me, works for me.
Yeah.
Me too.
It works for me because I can pretend that I'm disappointed that the place is shutting down, but
like,
deep down inside, I can't wait to get back home and hit my bed. Because what we did last night, I can't do every time.
Well, I was that even. I mean, I live here. Obviously, I need to say it.
So
Like,
you were
I
like,
left at 1.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I think like even earlier than that. Yeah.
So it was me like, okay, let's indulge in a fun night out. But again, it's not something I can do on the regular because you know the touring life, you got to get your sleep and all that stuff. So
Yeah. No way like that you can do that ever.
can't
Did
do
you
all the
go
time.
out? Last question. Did you go out in Singapore and tell everyone why it sucked?
No, I was in Singapore during the week.
Oh yeah.
So there wasn't any nightlife.
Well, where
major
Masala
nightlife.
is where the gig is. That's like the bar street, right?
Yes. There's a bar street, but again, like I said, because it's the weekdays, there wasn't too much stuff happening. But at the same time, I was happy to be chilling with the comedians. I was staying with Fuzz.
Yeah.
So we were just going everywhere, having some nice meals, hanging with other comedians. I did his podcast as well. So it was a lot of hang time over there.
Yeah.
And the last night's show was easing into the weekend, so I'm like, all right, this is my jam. Let's do a Friday night jam. So
Yeah.
kind of
How do people find you online?
how do people find me online? If
Yes,
they're
that
going
was
to
not a difficult question.
Yeah, no, I just
This is
Why?
that-
This is the easiest question in the whole podcast, and that's what threw you off.
no, I just heard it. I heard it a little differently.
Okay, what did you
How
hear?
did people find you online?
Oh, how did?
How did people? Oh, okay. No,
I heard did. Yeah.
I would have taken it as in like you're trying to set him up or something. Like, how did you find you?
I was
It was
going to
the
say I was going to say ridiculously sexy. I mean, what do you mean? How do they find me online? No, I'm just kidding.
It was the most innocent, boring podcast question of plugging your socials.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was going.
I know.
But anyways, if you're looking for me on social media, I'm super active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is absolutely Danny, or just search for Daniel Fernandes with an S, not a Z, and you'll see me there. And just
Easy
hit me
enough.
follow. Yeah, that's where you have all my content and updates.
Yeah, and
about
do dive
shows and
into
stuff.
Daniel's comments when he yells at his fans. It's quite beautiful. I
Those
do
are not the
enjoy-
fans.
Yeah,
I'm
those are-
yelling
Well,
at.
yeah, you yell at strangers, and I do enjoy it. It's like when
It's
you
just
get in
once
fights
in a
with-
while.
I mean, a lot of them are trolls, right?
They're trolls. They're all trolls.
They're fake accounts.
And I'll
or
tell you
whatever.
why I like doing it, because sometimes you want to expend some energy during the week also,
Yeah.
that comedic energy. So like once in a while, if somebody deserves a punchline that's also a slap,
Yeah.
I like dishing it out,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're being a bitch, I'll be a bitch too.
Yeah.
But I'm able to do it because I've learned how to not let these trolls bother me
Yeah, it doesn't bother
mentally.
you. Yeah.
So now that I control how you affect me mentally, then I can mess with you. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shield is up again.
Yeah.
The shield goes down and again it goes back up.
Nice.
So it's fun.
It's fun.
And it dries up engagement.
Yeah, people
which is good. Which is
the
good
commentary.
for,
It doesn't matter what you're commenting
It
about.
doesn't matter,
The
yeah.
engagement goes up, people buy tickets. So I'm leveraging your hate for me to sell more tickets.
Right. So
this
please
guy.
go on Daniel's account
And hate on me.
say
Yeah, say something hateful.
Yeah, say something hateful because that ultimately helps him.
Share the hate.
Yeah.
Hate his reels by sharing them.
Yeah.
Hate his posts by liking them. And hate his page by following
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
That's what social media is, right? Hate, violence, and sex
Yeah.
travels way faster than kindness, decency, and quality content.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of quality content, you are one of the best guys we've brought out here, and we are looking forward to working with you again.
Likewise, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
Always
so
a
much
pleasure.
for doing Hong Kong, and safe travels back.
Thank
See you next time.
Yep.